Good morning and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey with Dave Westcott, focused on building $1 million business. Today we are focusing on associations and trade associations, and as you can see, I'm in the beautiful Hartford, Connecticut, and we're hanging out at the SIMA, Snow and Ice Management Association trade show, and we're having a great time here. Right, this is one of the big events that we come to every single year. There's others, of course, Connex and formerly known as Prism, but we come to these trade shows because this is on the entrepreneurial journey. This is one of those things that really helps you level up. This is one of those things that helps you be a better businessman, a better leader, a better example for your team. And what I mean by that is, at these trade conventions, not only do you meet with peers and not only do you have networking, but you have incredible opportunities to learn and you have incredible opportunities to grow. And these opportunities to grow and learn and really help take your business to the next level are key and imperative. And I'll just share some stories today. I'm solo today, so it's just me sharing with you. And I wanted to do that because this is so imperative. And a lot of guys in the snow industry consider their business life before SIMA and life after SIMA. And so for me, one of the reasons that I got into SIMA, Snow and Ice Management Association, was because early on in my career, when I first started plowing snow, I didn't exactly know how to plow snow. I didn't have anybody that taught me how to plow snow or anything like that. I needed to get into the business because I needed winter work for my crews and my team. And so I found this organization, SIMA, and they had some great training videos on how to plow snow. Because the truth is, when I first started plowing snow and looking at what that looked like, I didn't even know, is the blade supposed to touch the ground? Is it supposed to grind on the ground? Is it supposed to be sparking right now? Should it be up a little bit? And it took me time to figure out what that looked like and how that was supposed to operate when I was self-performing my snow and ice work. And so I got in and I watched those videos and I learned, and I had my team watch those videos and my staff watch those videos. And what I learned was, joining an association is like a pursuit of excellence, right? You're trying to be better than just the normal contractor. You're trying to be better than just the average industry standard, right? You're trying to excel. You're trying to push yourself to the next level. And these associations, these trade associations like SIMA, they're an amazing place to meet people and network. And what you find early on is that you go to your first trade show or you go to your first symposium, and what happens is you don't really know anybody. And maybe you kind of connect with a couple of people and you talk, but what happens is it takes show after show after show. And what you find is that you build amazing networks and you build amazing friendships with people all over the country, people who are doing the same thing that you are, people who will help you out in a pinch, or people who will share information or best practices on something that might be going on in their business specifically or your business specifically. And it's an amazing opportunity to just increase your friendships and increase your network. And it's kind of cool to have peers that you can share with, where you're not worried, are they going to steal my idea? Are they going to steal my secret? Is it going to affect my local market? Are they a direct competitor in the market that I work in today? And so it reduces some of those fears and anxieties. But I'll tell you, I thought my business was just really going great. And I thought my business was just, amazing. And I thought it was going to be as good it was ever going to get. And a friend of mine that I met through SIMA, Snow and Ice Management Association again, challenged me and said, hey, why don't you check out the EOS operating system? We use the Entrepreneurial operating system in our business. And what it really does is it helps smoke out non-producers. And I said, well, yeah, maybe. And I kind of let it pass. And then the next year came around and he said, hey, man, did you check out that EOS? And I said, no, not yet. And there happened to be a presentation on EOS at the trade show. And so I signed up for that. I signed up for that hour and a half deal, and I went through it and I listened and I was like, wow, We've got integrator positions. And what is an integrator? An integrator is that person who takes all of your business ideas, because as CEOs, as entrepreneurs, we have these grand visions and we have these, an onslaught of just ideas of things we want to implement and things we want to do on a daily basis. And we can get distracted and we can get in our own way. And what it showed was like, hey, if you have that integrator, it's okay to have those ideas. It's okay to be that visionary. It's okay to cast the vision for your company. But you want somebody who can actually implement them and make them happen and keep you on course. And a lot of times as an entrepreneur, it's so easy to get off course and take your business in many different directions. And the reason is just because you don't have that structure. And so I was like, wow, that's awesome, an integrator. And it really helped define the operations position. What does operations do at the table? And what does sales do at the table? And what does accounting or finance do at the table? And really define what that operational structure looks like. And then you meet with an implementer, and that implementer comes in and they ask you tough questions and they help you assess your core values. And for me, it was the first time I really got into core values. Like, what am I really standing for? What am I in? And it's like, we all have our mission statement that's on the wall, and we all have, our company values and all of those things. But what I learned along the way was those things were just words on a wall. They sounded really good. But could people on the team really repeat them, really remember them, really lead by them? Or were they just words on a wall? And what EOS taught me was, wait a minute, these core values are the core values of the team. And some of our core values, have grit, formally get your boots wet, was like, hey man, it means you got to have tough moments. There's going to be tough moments that you got to power through. There's got to be tough moments that you drive through, that you don't quit when your back is against the wall, you keep pushing. Or for each other, what that means is, hey man, even in the worst circumstances, or whatever, look out for your team member, support your team member the very best that you can. Or be nimble. Like, hey, me and Ralph are here. Ralph's shooting this video right now, and this morning he's like, hey man, we're changing the plans for today. Totally cool, right? So being nimble and then using those core values to lead and drive by. And I had never even thought about that, but those core values, they create buy-in and they create something bigger than yourself. And you as the owner, the entrepreneur, you don't even create the core values. They're actually created by your team. And so your team puts the effort and the energy in, and it's things that are important to them. And so now they have buy-in, and your team has buy-in because they're the ones who are building the business, and those are the ones who are creating the core values. And it really changes the entire game. It changes everything that you have going on in your business, and it's an amazing opportunity. Well, where does all that come from? All that comes from being a part of a trade association, right? Had I not made the steps to say, you know what, I'm going to fly out here. I'm going to get the hotel room. I'm going to participate in the event. I'm going to sit in the classroom. I'm going to take notes. And what happens is you start to level up. And I remember the first time I ever went to a trade association event over a decade ago. And I was just listening to all of the classes. I went to every class and I was taking notes, so fast, and I had so many pages, I had a whole notebook of just new ideas and new things and new ways to make the business better. And it was my first exposure to what it was to listen to people, to listen to mentors, to listen to people who had done it better, who had come before and already plowed the road ahead of you, so to speak. Since we're talking about SIMA and snow, we'll say plowed the road ahead of you. And what it really showed was, oh my gosh, look at all the things I don't know. Look at all the things I'm missing. And I just remember writing, oh man, I got this book and I got that book. And it was like, oh, I haven't read this and I don't know this. And just really learning so fast, feeling like a sponge in the room. And those events, those moments are absolute game changers in your business. And so that's why a lot of people might say there's life before SIMA and life after SIMA, because it exposes you to an entirely different level of growing. And so there's different types of associations, like Connex, for example, is a great association, but a lot of the learning is for the facility manager. And a lot of what our team might do there is they might be presenting a booth, and they might be trying to earn business or capture business, from a supplier. And so there's not that educational opportunity. So in your trade associations, you really want to understand what is your core service and what does that core service look like. For me, one of my core services is snow removal. And snow removal is fundamental. So I want to be a part of an association that helps me level up my game. I don't want to have to be, chasing clients or, doing a lot of other things other than focus on me and focus on my team and focus on growth in this particular situation. And so those associations, that networking, those relationships, they help me to level up. They help me to take my business to the next level. But it takes commitment, because I got to be in every single year. Every single year I've got to be committed to this growth. And then you start bringing your team and you start thinking, gosh, I should start investing in my people. And my people should start hearing these things, and my people should start learning these things. And so many things along that journey really help you to level up. Another recommendation, a friend of mine says, hey, why don't you join EO? And I'm like, what's EO? And he's like, well, it's kind of like YPO. And I'm like, well, okay, I know what YPO is, Young Presidents Organization. And, you need to make $15 million a year, and you need to have 50 employees to be, considered to be able to join. And okay, cool. Maybe that's not for everybody. Maybe that's not for people climbing the ladder. But I was like, okay, what's EO? Well, EO is Entrepreneurs Organization. And so he was like, hey man, why don't you take a look? And, I've been in it for 15 years, and here's some of the relationships, and here's how it's helped me. And I kind of passed on it. And then I decided, I'm going to take a look. Well, what I found with EO was that there was other entrepreneurs who were having the same struggles and the same problems and the same things that I was going with. And that way I could have that community, I could have that connection. I didn't have to have it just at a trade show, but I could have it all the time. And so that became another powerful avenue for me, because a lot of times in business, there's really tough moments. And when we have those tough moments, who do you rely on? You can't always go to your spouse and say, well, Cheryl, I don't think I'm going to make it today. I don't think we're going to make payroll this week. I don't think the business is going to make it. You can't always put that kind of stress on your spouse, because if you do, they can't turn it off. They can't stop thinking about it. And you might have solved the problem 15 minutes later and everything is all good. So EO gives you this great opportunity to be able to really connect with other people, connect with entrepreneurs, share what's going on in your business, share best practices, share tips. I've been a part of EO now 5-6 years. And in that, I still go to my meetings and I still learn something every time. There's not a meeting that goes by that I don't learn something from another entrepreneur. So along this entrepreneurial journey, along this path that we take for ourselves, what happens? We've got to invest in ourselves. And if we don't invest in ourselves, if we don't invest in the business that we're building, the business can never take another step. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, I just don't have the time. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to take 3 days out. I'm too busy running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Well, that's the first step. That's the first notice to, I've got a problem. Right? If you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, it means your business isn't stable. It means that your business isn't in a good position. It means that your business is most likely running you. And what I find is that most entrepreneurs on this journey, they are just working for a salary. A lot of times they're making less than the employees who work for them. And they have this idea of freedom. They have this idea of time. They have this idea of significant wealth. But for many, many entrepreneurs, this never comes true. And a lot of it has to do with the associations that we make, the people that we connect with. Well, one of the things I love about trade associations is that it gives us this really unique and cool opportunity to connect with peers. And connecting with peers is like, it's great because you can come to this association and you can hook up with a guy who's doing $60 million a year, $100 million a year, or $5 million a year. You can meet people who are on this level that you are aspiring to get to, or that you might think, how am I ever going to get there? And by connecting with those people and those people sharing because they've already been on the journey, right? It changes your associations. And by changing your associations, by changing the people that you're connecting with on a daily basis, you're actually helping yourself level up. You're actually raising the bar. Iron sharpens iron. We become like the people that we hang out with. We become like the people that we spend time with. So a cool thing about an association is you can get hooked up in an association and you can say, you know, who's the biggest dog in the room? And you can say, man, I want to get with that guy. And you can make a relationship and spend time and learn. And what you'll find is that a lot of these amazing people will share their stories and they'll open up their doors and they'll help you level up your business. And it's cool because they're in the same industry. When you're in your hometown, whether it be Seattle or Boston or Florida or wherever it might be, you can't really go to your competitor and say, hey, will you show me everything you're doing? Will you open up your books and your doors? But at an association, because you build relationships, because everybody has a common purpose in moving the organization forward, you get these really unique opportunities. You get people that you can pick up the phone with and just say, hey man, how are you doing? What's going on? What's going on in your world? And vice versa. Or sometimes people will come out to you and fly out and say, hey man, I heard you sharing about what you were doing and it sounded really unique. I'd love to take a look. And you say, okay, cool, come on out. And they see your organization and they see your program and they see what you're building. And so you have these really cool opportunities to build relationships, and you have these cool opportunities, to take your business and your game to another level. And you get these amazing cities, right? Like, look at this beautiful view. We've got this old building here. This is a great little, piece of city that we are able to see. Well, the cool thing is we bring our family with us every single time, right? So my kids get to come out and my wife comes out and I take my kids on the showroom floor and people see my kids and they get to know my kids. And it was funny, last night we were walking through the hall after dinner and one of the guys that I connect with, his name is Jeff, and my family's in the hallway and we walk up on him and he's like, hey, you're D-Shot. And he says, I know from the pictures I see online, I know from the pictures on LinkedIn, you're D-Shot, and you're Madeline, and you're Amy. And it's kind of cool because it's instant relationship, right? It's instant connection. Well, let me tell you another story. So I had a large national contract, 550 locations across the U.S. providing snow removal. And I had a subcontractor fail on 5 or 6 sites in the Massachusetts market. And I was in a pinch because these were sites where the regional manager was really, really tough. And I called a buddy from SIMA and I picked up the phone and I was like, hey man, listen, I'm in a pinch on these sites. And I was like, I had a problem with a sub. And I need to get these serviced. And you know what he said? Man, Dave, for you, I'm right on it. He said, how much does it pay? What does it look like? I said, this is the dollars we've got. He said, perfect, no problem. I'm going to get it taken care of. And I said, okay, cool. That's fantastic. Let's get this thing going. And he goes out there, boom, 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 and he services those sites for me. And I pay him the money, and we have this strong relationship, and that's what he did for me. He took him on for the rest of the year, and he did an amazing job, and I sent him some tickets to a Boston Red Sox game right down there on the third base line, $900 seat tickets, just saying thank you. But that guy bailed me out, and he took those for the rest of the season. And that's that kind of connection that you make. That's that kind of partnership that you make. That's that kind of I got your back, right? Where guys are looking out for you. Guys are helping you. Guys are invested in helping you succeed. And it's funny because, you know, just last year we went out to dinner with those same guys and we're joking and we're laughing and we're having a good time. And that's what that trade association is all about, because without that connection, guess what? I wouldn't have made it. Hey, here's another story. I'm working and I'm taking on this big portfolio of snow and ice removal sites, and they're in the south. They're in the southern area, and the southern area doesn't get a ton of snow, and it's not exactly an easy area to subcontract. So I'm at one of the SIMA conventions, and a friend of mine says, "Hey, guess what? I know a great sub who works down in this area. Yeah, man, he's fantastic." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, listen, I'll share his name and number with you." So he shares his name and number. So the guy picks up 68 locations for us, because he's like this big snow provider, but he's not on Google. He's not on the internet. He's just a guy out there getting it done. And so what happens? We build this relationship. Well, that little area tends to actually get hit with about 10 inches of snow and tends to get hit with about 20 de-icings. And so what you find is, you know, it ends up being a couple $1 million in revenue. But without those connections, without those SIMA connections, without those relationships being fostered and built and put together, what happens? Maybe we don't get those subbed out, or maybe we don't get as good of a sub, or maybe we don't get that connection. And that's just brother helping brother. And that is so important in this industry, in any industry. And it doesn't matter if you're in concrete or parking lot sweeping or asphalt. You know, the American Institute of Concrete for the concrete guys. There's an association for everything. The Electric Vehicle Association, because we do electric vehicle work. The Asphalt Paving Association. There's so many associations out there. But find the place where you belong. Find your home and get involved. Some of the greatest things I've ever done is judge the awards, listening to what other companies put forth for their team members, how their team members go above and beyond in winter storms, driving their business forward, the crazy commitment that people make, people walking through walls for their business, these amazing things that inspire you and drive you to be better and to build the best organization that you possibly can. That's what this is all about. That's what the trade organization is all about. So if you want to build that $1 million business, right? If you're thinking, man, I want to make $1 million, the next question is gross or net, right? Because you got to decide. But let's just say I want to gross that $1 million. Well, you can't gross that $1 million unless you're leveling up. You can't gross that $1 million unless you're constantly focusing on taking your business to the next level. So my advice, get into an association. And don't just pay the dues and, you know, get the magazine. Get involved. Get on a committee. Get on an awards committee. Get on a best practices committee. Get on a committee that can help you take your business to the next level. Get involved with that committee, work on that committee, and stay super, super focused, okay? Very, very important thing to do in your business. And so when you do that, now you're in the association. And then look at what does it take to get on the board of directors? How can you be a board member in this association? How can you take your business to the next level? How can you take your game to the next level? And a lot of that happens by being involved. You're not going to join the association and just get on the board, right? You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to be focused. You're going to have to spend time. You're going to have to show commitment. But what happens is you're going to build amazing relationships, and you're going to have these relationships that are going to go on for many, many years. And you're going to learn. And the more that you invest, the more that you're going to get back. And it really becomes this powerful organization. And it doesn't matter, like I said, whether you're in landscaping maintenance or snow removal or parking lot sweeping, it doesn't matter what service you are. And there's an association for everything. There's an association for accountants, right? There's an association for everything that you can touch. And these associations, the people that run these associations, a lot of volunteers, a lot of volunteer hours really go in to, making it the best experience possible. And it's like you got to come back year after year. But part of the cool thing is you get to see old friends and you get to make new friends and you get to learn new things. And no matter how many times you do it, no matter how many times you invest in it, you always learn something. I'm already looking at the book of classes, and I've been doing this so many years. So many years I've been in this industry, and so many years I've been in this business. 2 decades plus, in the field of construction, in what I'm doing. And I'm still excited about what people I'm going to hear speak. I'm still making check marks next to the names that I want to say, oh man, this person is going to be great. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table. Whether it's sales, how can we get better at sales? What does our sales look like? How can I get better at bidding? What can I do better in my shop and my presence? What can I do better with my fleet? What can I do better with leadership? What does it mean to have uniforms? What does it mean to build a business focused on doing everything the very best that you can, building a world-class business, focusing on perfection, or just being an average, normal, run-of-the-mill guy? So many businesses are just happy to get by. So many businesses are happy to just do the middle of the road. But what separates an exceptional business? Think about an incredible experience that you had in life. Think about one of the best things that you've ever done. What was around that? And you can think about those world-class brands like Morton Steakhouse or Disney or Starbucks or Ritz-Carlton or JanSport backpacks. You think about these brands that do incredible service. Louis Vuitton, right? They go above and beyond for their customers. Rolex. How can you charge $50,000 for a watch when you can buy a Seiko for $995? And it's about experience, and it's about delivering that experience to your clients. It's about leveling up. It's about building something world-class. It's about building something untouchable. It's about building something based on values. It's about building something with a purpose greater than yourself. And a trade association can help you do that. And I'll leave you with this. If you're in the snow business, if you're thinking about being in the snow business, there's a leadership forum coming up in Florida for SIMA. Absolutely game-changing event, because you get the top leaders from all over the country, North America, not just the U.S., but Canada as well. And it's an amazing opportunity with amazing event speakers, with amazing speakers that'll help you change your life. There will be tips and things that you take and implement into your daily routines, into your business, that help you take your business to the next level. And so join up, take a shot at it. But no matter where you're at, if I can leave you with one thing, if one thing can help you take your business to the next level, it's find a trade association and dive in deep. It'll do more for your business than anything else that you can do. Take the time. Remember, you're not too busy, because if you're too busy, you're the guy who needs it the most. So dive into that trade association. Listen, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this time. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, right? We would love to be a part of your network. We thank you for taking the time. And listen, follow me on LinkedIn, David Westcott on LinkedIn. Follow me. Follow me on Facebook, David Westcott. I hang out in both of those places consistently and often every day. And so I'm always there, always hanging out. If you want to chat about associations, if you want to chat about my experience in other associations, I'm happy to share that with you. Just DM me, hit me up on LinkedIn, hit me up on Facebook, and let's connect. I love connecting with industry professionals, and I want to see you have the most amazing business that you can. I want to see you reach your goals. I want to see you exceed your goals. I love what you are doing. I love this business, and I love entrepreneurship, and I love helping people build million-dollar businesses. So if you want to take your business to the next level, reach out. I do consulting. I do all sorts of things with contractors every single day that help them reach their goals. So reach out to me, Dave Westcott, on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. Check out the view one last time. This is SIMA. We're here in Hartford. Have a great day. Thanks, Ralph. You're the best.